Hello, metalrules.com, not to be confused with metalsucks.com, I presume. I go by Voicide of the Design Abstract. We are a three-piece band, but we have very complicated schedules, so you're getting just me. So, the Design Abstract was formed with a very specific goal and vision in mind, in its blend of orchestral and electronic elements with metal, which turned specifically to melodic death metal, but that's fine. But the principle was basically orchestral metal seems to fit very specific niches, and we wanted to do something different, something future-facing, something that involved synths. You've got incredible bands like Flesh God Apocalypse, Septic Flesh, and I know Dimmu Borgir is not death metal, but like they were my biggest inspiration. But specifically with Flesh God and Septic Flesh, the music doesn't feel futuristic. It feels more antiquated. Like, it's still cutting edge death metal with fantastic musicianship, don't get me wrong, but our idea was to make it something real futuristic, real sci-fi, not shy away from synths as long as they're not too painfully cheesy, that sort of thing. That is why Logan came on board for the project in the first place all those years ago, was because we had that common goal, and that's been the goal of the Design Abstract for the entire time, since day one, since it started out as just a solo project with just me. So the aforementioned solo project was just called Design with a dot, and when I started adding members, I decided to add words as well because it was impossible to search for. Design as a band is terribly search engine optimized, like nobody could find it. So we stuck the Design Abstract, and like, what does it mean? What does anything mean? It's just words, you know. I don't hate the name. If I would have known, I might have changed it, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just sorry there's no cool story. You can pretend it's like the Design Abstract, as in the meta blueprint for the design itself of everything, like the meta blueprint. Sure, that's fine. It has to do with futurism. You can tie it together, but that's not what it was. That's just a retroactive meaning. So, Metamtegnosis is the sequel to Technotheism. We say sequel because we write very story-driven, concept album-y melodic death metal. There's a little bit of time gap in between those two albums, but it is a direct continuation of the Technotheism story, which, if you're not familiar with that album or with that story, I don't want to spoil too much, so I won't get into it too much, but it's very futuristic sci-fi that deals with AI and nanobots and fun stuff like that. Lyrics on this release specifically, I've actually never got into this. So the biggest one would be, there's a series called the Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons, and the second two books, Endymion and Rise of Endymion, a lot of the sort of, I don't even know what you'd call it, like meta something or other, meta philosophy, meta science, he makes a bunch of cool stuff up, and it has to do with nanobots, spoilers maybe. And I just really liked what he did with that and the implications of that, so I borrowed a lot of that. At the start, I was also borrowing a lot of concepts from a Chinese author whose name I'm going to butcher, Cixin Liu, maybe. The Three-Body Problem and the Dark Forest, specifically the Dark Forest. I was borrowing a lot of ideas from that and the nature of data security as it results to the human mind versus data encryption. You'll notice that all of the answers I gave are books, because we're a bunch of nerds, and our lyrics are not influenced by other music. Say movies too, The Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, you know, all the good ones. Yeah. Not much story behind the album art. It's very, very good, and it was done by another dude whose name I'm probably going to butcher, Yuta Shimpo from Japan. Awesome digital artist, and we commissioned it, sort of told him what we wanted. That was really it, and he did a great job. He made some decisions that I wouldn't have made myself, especially with the like neon-y text. That's outside of my personal comfort zone, but it turned out amazing. We love it. We've already got compliments on it. He did a great job. Check him out. Yeah, that's my attempt at a plug. We love him though. Any new albums that have caught my ears? Okay, the last one I did prepared me for this, so I'm a terrible person to ask. I don't really listen to new music. I sort of wish that Matt and Logan were here, because they actually do, like when new releases come up, they actually listen to them. I have listened to the new Cognizance record, Upheaval, which is amazing. Best one yet. Those guys kick ass. And I checked out the new Poppy record when it came out, and I quite liked it, especially the opening track. I think that's all the 2021 music I've listened to. Sorry, I suck. I just listen to the same stuff over and over again. I'm really terrible. Local music scene we do not really know too much about, because the sound of our band is not really influenced by the local scene. We're fairly withdrawn. We just kind of make albums. We don't really play shows, though it is in the works. We're thinking about it. But the reason this band exists is to create albums and tell stories type of thing. Not completely ruling out playing shows. It's just really not a priority. So we don't really know too much about the local scene, especially me. I'm pretty bad for just being like a hermit. I don't really talk to people. I know a couple people in the local scene, maybe. I'm the wrong person to ask. We're kind of the wrong band to ask, at least for now. Future plans for the band. So as I sort of mentioned, we are playing with the idea of playing shows. We're still sort of working it out and that sort of thing, but we, or specifically I, am not completely closed off to the idea anymore. So we're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna sort of see what works and what doesn't. So maybe shows in the future. Otherwise, Technotheism Part 3, it's a trilogy. I guess that'd be fourth album, but we don't include Emanate. So Technotheism is a trilogy, and we're already writing the third one, and I'm really excited about it. We've got a lot of really cool ideas, and I'm pretty amped up for it right now, considering at the time of recording, Metamtegnosis isn't even out yet, but we're a few songs into the next one. So that's, future plans. We just never stopped making music. That's kind of the whole point. Yeah. This is a loaded question, and this is why one of the guys should have been here to stop me, but it's just me. I don't play metal because it was a choice. I play metal because it's the only thing I'm good at, and I do love the energy and the passion that the metal scene has compared to others. You know, people get worked up about it, real worked up, but that's for better and for worse. It's a double-edged sword, you know? It can also be ridiculously elitist and like ridiculously hesitant to change, and I consider those negative attributes. If I could be making like banger pop songs, I'm sorry to say I would. Like, I'd probably also be doing this, but I'm sorry, I don't think metal is the best genre. Who am I kidding? Metal is like the only thing I listen to, so I can't even pretend I don't listen to it to try to sound like subversive, because realistically, if you look at my Spotify, it's all metal. I can pretend that it's a curse or whatever, but like, yeah, I don't know. Take that however you want. Thank you for watching this one-man interview. Hoping in the future we can get our schedules to line up a bit better so that we can churn these out at a quicker rate, because it's been a long time and we just can't seem to make anything work. So yeah, check out Metamtegnosis. It's out October 29th, and especially, whether you like technotheism or not, I think this one is an improvement on all fronts. The addition of Matt to the band definitely brought a lot to the table as far as our music sort of being cohesive and just flowing a lot better, and his parts are so much fun to listen to. It's great. Thanks for watching.